All that, everybody keeps saying I'm not in shape. I'm in shape. Just I deal with injuries. I play to them. I don't complain about it. Go out there and give everything I got. That's all I can do. Stop saying I'm watching money. I'm not. I'm cared about myself, of getting better, rehab, worried about the Washington Wizards making it to the playoffs, and just becoming a better player and better person.
Rockets have agreed to trade Russell Westbrook to Washington for John Wall on a protected first in 2023. Wall hasn't played since the day after Christmas of 2018.
I ain't played in 2 years and 5 days, man. I'm just happy to be out here. I'll play with a great group of guys, be in a great city like H-Town, and then get Coach Silas his first win.
Okay, I'll admit, I never had much faith that John Wall could recover and return to form. I was a big fan of him back when the Wizards made some runs in the playoffs, but for the most part, I've always had mixed opinions regarding his playstyle. And after that colossal contract he signed, plus the injuries and Achilles tear, combined with him being heavily reliant on athleticism, let's be honest, his career was looking grim. Everyone was anxiously waiting for him to return. But after watching him play again, this time in Houston, I think he's poised to have a massive season. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and today I'm going to talk about why I think Wall will tear it up this season. Also, what's in store for the Rockets? The uncertainty of this team makes them the most interesting team to pay attention to, and I'll talk about that later too. First, in order to understand why Wall is a better fit than Russ, it all comes down to their playstyle and instincts. Even though Westbrook is a great passer, his role was always too similar to Harden's. Like Harden, he also has a score-first mentality, and those scoring habits won't magically go away. Now, to give him credit, Russ did ramp it up near the end of the 2020 season. He started to mesh and play very well, but in the playoffs, that clashing playstyle with Harden was very apparent and very predictable. The whole my turn, your turn kinda offense, it never works against any competent defensive team. Wall, on the other hand, he's a natural point guard. When it comes to their build, their athleticism, and attitude, Wall is comparable to Westbrook. What separates them is that Wall does not have that score-first mentality, which makes him automatically a better fit with Harden. Wall's a natural passer and he can score, but through all his years in DC, his priority has always been to get his teammates involved first and foremost. When the game gets out of hand, he won't shoot his team out of the game, he just continues to play like he usually does. Not only that, but when it comes to moving off the ball, Wall seems to have adapted pretty quickly, at least faster than Westbrook did. He won't carry the same amount of usage either. Statistically, Westbrook's usage rate in the past few years has been historically high. It was common to hear complaints from fans that he was eating into Harden's usage way too much. Wall doesn't carry that with him. He doesn't have that massive usage rate, and he's never had it. It's early right now, but these numbers do mean something. The Rockets' total team assists and total passes per game has been better with Wall on the floor. It's a good sign that the ball movement has improved, as that was a common criticism of the Rockets' offense in recent years. A lot of people also forget how close the Rockets were to reaching the finals and potentially winning it all. Those CP3 years were insane, and I'm not saying current John Wall is as good as 2017 CP3, but hey, the point is, a Harden-led Rockets team will always be a contender, as long as he has a great backcourt partner. Through 2 years of speculation and questions, Wall has a lot to prove. The chip on his shoulder has grown to the size of his ego, but he's always been a guy who loves this kind of test. The road was tough. At times, he thought he'd never be back. In a quiet scrimmage prior to the trade, Wall was playing 5-on-5 for the first time in 2 years. He struggled to get into his usual defensive stance, feeling the excruciating pain in his heel from the aftermath of his Achilles surgery. He stated, "It felt like somebody stuck a knife in there and just kept twisting it every time I took a step." However, his former coaching staff had a tremendous amount of faith in him. Wizards assistant Alex MacLeod answered a question to the media about Wall's future. "People think he will be different. Oh, he'll be different. He'll be better. Wall would echo that statement. During an interview with Sports Illustrated, Wall was asked if he felt as fast as he used to be, to which he snarkingly responded, "I don't feel as fast, I feel faster." All the talk, all the noise, all the doubts, they've accumulated over the years. They reminded Wall of what he had and what he lost. But he'll never lose his confidence. Another big storyline during the Rockets' offseason was the loss of Mike D'Antoni. His contract expired at the end of the 2020 season, but he did not return as the coach. This kinda surprised some folks, but I think his time was up. The Rockets needed some change, so instead, Stephen Silas, the son of renowned head coach Paul Silas, got the chance to coach this team. Stephen has never been a head coach before, this is his first time. But right when he arrived at training camp, he developed an immediate connection with Wall. He praised him more than anyone else on the team, saying how seamlessly he fit in and embraced a leadership role that they desperately needed. Having a great relationship with your point guard is arguably the most important thing a head coach can do, so he's off to a great start. Here's the full quote from Silas. "John Wall has looked great. He's looked really good, pushing the ball up the floor and getting everybody organized as the point guard does. Hitting guys on time and on target on passes. He's still a little bit rusty, obviously, since he hasn't played in so long. But he's a joy to coach, because he's a coach on the floor, but he also allows me to coach him, which is amazing. He's really doing a good job." Now, as a team, the Rockets are the wild card. With DeMarcus Cousins as well, Wall's college teammate, who, by the way, he's on his own redemption story. Though we still see flashes of that talent we've known for so long. Fact is, this duo has a lot of talent on paper. It helps that they've known each other for so long and practiced together during the offseason, so the chemistry is already there. However, even with Wall and Cousins on the team, Harden is still the biggest question mark. With his questionable future, all eyes are on him. If the Rockets even give off any hints of underperforming by the trade deadline, we might see some deals go down. If Harden doesn't like what he sees, he'll push even harder for a trade. The Rockets are just so volatile. A ticking time bomb ready to go off at any moment of weakness. In fact, I'll even say that they have the highest untapped potential out of any team in the league. We just don't know if they'll come together. That's the issue. We don't know if they'll implode by the deadline. We don't know if this roster will look the same a month from now. As uncertain as we are, one thing's for sure, this is the most talented Rockets team we've seen in a long time. Can they make it work? Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the current Rockets team. How far do you see them going? I think they'll make the playoffs for sure, and perhaps another second round exit? I mean, that's not bad. Hopefully they'll make it further. I'm rooting for them. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.